Welcome back to the Fate of Drakkenheim. This is the Dungeon Dudes weekly D&D 5e actual play campaign. My name is Monty Martin, running our game as Dungeon Master.
And I'm Jill Donitis, playing Rudy Whitaker, the Shifter Eldritch Knight.
And Joe O'Gorman, playing Wrath, the Aasimar Warlock.
And I'm Callie McLaughlin, playing Wilhelm von Kessel, the human swashbuckler rogue, and we're joined once again by our good friend.
Hi, I'm Ginny D, and I'm playing Ava Blightward, the human abjuration wizard.
Thank you for joining us once again. As always, be sure to catch all of our content over on YouTube, where Kelly and I cover everything D&D, including advice for players and guides for GMs. And while you're there, be sure to check out Ginny D's fantastic videos as well.
You can also join us on Tuesday evenings when we broadcast the campaign on Twitch. You can check us out from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/dungeon_dudes. You can also watch the video episodes of the show on YouTube or check us out as an audio-only podcast as well.
And with that, let us return to Drakkenheim.
Drakkenheim is no more. The devastation which fell upon that accursed place left a kingdom in ruin. Now, horrors lurking in the haze grow ever more great and terrible, while simmering tensions between rival factions boil over into outright war. The power of monarchs, mages, and priests hangs in the balance. 6 unlikely heroes join forces to confront the coming chaos. They shall decide, once and for all, the fate of Drakkenheim.
When last we left our heroes, Wilhelm, Rudy, and Wrath, along with Ava, assaulted Castle Sodden to stop the bombardment of Todsfeld as well as their encamped forces near the city. Storming the castle gates, they very effectively defeated the gate defenders in the process of a whole bunch of arcane anomalies, which summoned the beholder, and resulted in an incendiary cloud, also destroying an entire one of these towers. With that, our heroes have now captured the front gates of Castle Sodden, and Duke von Fritz's remaining forces, almost entirely composed of the reanimated constructs of Dr. Everett Freed and the purchased constructed guardians of the Amethyst Academy, are falling back to the keep. The courtyard of Castle Sodden is a mud-slick open field with several large buildings abutting the various walls and a sickly-looking well in the center. The various buildings that comprise the inner part of the courtyard include a barracks for the soldiers, the castle kitchens, as well as the stables and armory and warehouses, a small smith's shop as well, and quarters for the castle staff, who, even as the Hooded Lanterns and the Steel Fangs begin going through these buildings, there is a noticeable absence of the castle staff. Normally, you might expect at this point in a siege for prisoners to begin being collected from those who are in the courtyard. But beyond cans, the Hooded Lanterns and the Irregulars and the Steel Fangs are mostly only encountering these creations of Everett Freed and the constructed soldiers. And it is as they begin positioning themselves around the keep to make sure that whoever's still in there can't get out, and several of the slain bodies of these constructs are brought forward, that Ava, you start recognizing as the pieces get disassembled of many of these reanimated soldiers that they have been made from the castle staff.
Ooh. This is unfortunate. This is the castle staff. The material for these creations.
We saw in the past that Everett Freed cared little for the lives of others. He was kidnapping students at the university to turn them into constructs, and it appears that him and your father were completely okay with taking apart the staff of the castle to build an army.
What about you, Cans? Were you also okay with this?
I suppose that we have gathered in the sort of courtyard of the bailey of the castle, and Cans is kind of brought out, chained up, and to be interrogated. And Cans says, "I had no idea."
Insight check!
Roll it.
Sorry, no, I'm not supposed to say that. I'm just saying, do I believe it?
Everyone went on vacation at the same time. I don't know.
Okay, wait. Oh, God. All right, where are my skills? Oh, my God. Okay, insight. That's only a 13.
Okay. The expression on Can's face as you... so, the constructs that Freed has made, he places these helmets over their faces. So their mouths are still visible, but their eyes and their faces are
Batman style.
Are concealed.
RoboCop.
And so when the helmet is pulled off and their faces are visible, the horrified expression upon them, you can see Kans's blood drain from his own body and the horrified expression on his face at the
Like,
realization.
you really just thought the staff was, like, just off running errands or something?
He says, he's almost at a loss for words as he chokes on his own throat, and he says, I think a part of me knew, but it was like I couldn't say no.
Do you mean you couldn't say no because you were following orders and it's what you've always done, or was there something more sinister going on?
He holds his head and shakes and says, I remember several weeks ago that the Duke said that our castle soldiers were needed to defend the mines. So he sent most of my troops over to the mines to safeguard it. And then a short while later, as we knew you were approaching, he said he was sending the castle staff away for their safety. And I thought that was odd that we needed them here. But then we had the constructs and the soldiers. But Everett Freed said that there wasn't enough food, that there would need to be more mouths to feed there were too many mouths to feed to survive a long siege.
It didn't strike you as out of character for my father to be concerned about the health and safety of his staff? That's fine. I guess it's not evil to be stupid.
It was like whenever I feel like I tried to question Freed. But every time the thought even came upon me to say this wasn't right, it was like the words were stopped in my throat, and that Freed and the Duke just needed me to be the one to go to Todsfeld to order people around. Why didn't they do this to me? Why did they leave me? What have I done?
Cans, have you been having nightmares?
I was about to ask.
Yes. Terrible ones.
Can you describe them to me?
It's like I wake up in my dreams, and I am called to go deep and down to surrender.
There's something going on in the mines.
There definitely is.
I go up to him and I put my hand on his shoulder and I just say, I'm sorry. He probably had friends and maybe family among those who lived at this castle, and I know it's terrible to think what they went through at the hands of the master of this land. But you know what? We need your help. So that way, this doesn't happen ever again.
Yes. The Duke and Everett Freed are in the keep. Freed wouldn't let me see the Duke all this week.
He's mutating. This might be one of those things where you describe one thing and then a player fixates on the wrong thing. But I'm kind of curious about this sickly well in the courtyard because it goes down into the ground.
What would you like to do?
Can we just look at it just in case? Kind of want to investigate it.
Okay. This old well. The castle staff, even though they use this well, you always boiled the water before you drank it from this well.
Because it's contaminated and nasty. I guess boiling wouldn't
even long before the contamination. Probably your earliest memories of, this being before you even attended the academy, the sight of the castle staff drawing from the well, taking it to the kitchens, boiling the water. That reservoir of the marshlands. Just, you want to make sure that it's nice and clean before you actually drink it or use it for anything.
Gross.
It's a deep well. The stone is mossy, and there is a smell that wafts from it, even as you approach. That smell of stagnant, polluted water.
Do we want to say...
Bruce goes down.
That's
He's
right.
hungry. I fall back.
As
into
the
Rudy's
Oh
arms.
yeah, my lizard can climb. He has a climbing
Do you wanna
speed,
go
so
down?
he could climb down the side. Yeah. Glyph, would you be comfortable investigating this well?
the creature very languidly looks up, squinting.
Come on, Glyph. Make yourself useful.
If lizards could groan, it would.
And this is the start to how familiars get a little
I
scared.
really appreciate, though, that she takes the time to, ask Glyph. You're just like Houdini and...
The creature, your familiar, steps onto the cold stone of the well and begins climbing down as Bruce flutters down as well.
Bruce will follow.
Do you enter the vision of your familiars? Is that what you want? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, please.
I'll just sit down on the ground.
Safer.
As you,
Trustful.
He's too trustful, yeah.
as you enter the telepathic link with your familiars
Oh no, there's somebody preying on our telepathic
and
stuff.
sending
Oh,
them
no.
down into the well,
Oh, balls.
you feel the eyes. Well, the sight without eyes. The listening without ears. The speaking without a mouth. As a powerful presence brings its attention over the telepathic link between you and your familiars as you enter into the well. You can both make charisma saving throws.
Saving throw.
And do we use ours or
Yours.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh God.
25.
Oh, is that cocked or is that a number? I
That's
feel like that's
cocked.
cocked. Okay. That's a natural 20 that time.
Okay.
So 21.
Heading down into the well, the crushing presence of this intellect tries to impose itself into your telepathic communications with your familiars, but you resist it, forcing it out of your minds, and you feel its
listening.
That's how you do it.
palpable fury and frustration at the rejection of its prying sense. But yet, as your familiars descend into the well, the whisper comes. That voice. Let go. Embrace it. It offers power like you've never experienced before. It can be yours.
I already have unlimited power.
The response comes. The power that you have granted to you may be vast indeed, but the mortal body that it must channel through is weak. It is the limit on the limitless well of power that you think to draw from. Unchain your mind and embrace it.
I can't. I'm really deep in. I don't know how.
Ava, what do you think?
No, thank you. Power is knowledge, and you are telling me nothing.
The voice responds, if you will not embrace it, then you will be thrall to it. You may be either the controller or the conduit. In the end, it matters not. But to control it, one can only embrace it. Give up what you are. Become more.
I choose a secret third thing where I kill you.
The third door.
Do we
Trying to ignore it.
see anything in the well?
Yeah. Continuing down the well.
As you,
Does it get deeper? Do we feel
the
it
well
more?
goes deep.
And do you feel the power more as you go deeper through
Yeah.
the well?
Like you're getting closer and closer to whatever
To
this
thing.
this
So if-
mind.
If we keep going, then maybe our familiars will not return.
Yes.
I can only go about, I think, 100 feet.
The well descends deeper than that.
Okay, Glyph, come on back up.
Relieved, the lizard climbs back up.
Bruce
I don't really wanna
reaches
take
the
the time to do the
limit
whole
to
ritual.
try to find his next meal. This is just another thing to taste.
Bruce touches your own mind and says, this one thinks that it is changed, that by embracing, it has gained power. You have embraced me and gained power. It is not so different, but you are mine, and that will not change.
And I am yours.
So
And we will
romantic.
devour it together.
You make me an insight check, Raph.
Woo! Uh-oh. It's only saving throws that we get the plus, right? But I still got a 17.
Having now listened to that voice, That was Everett Freed's voice.
Oh, Mr. Freed.
Disembodied, of course, but you're certain of it. That something occurred to he has done something to himself.
Was he using delirium at all in his like surgical creations?
Yes.
So this matches up with my understanding that some powerful magic users. Is he magical?
Not
Does
to
he
be.
do magic?
He was more of like a scientist, right? But in his laboratory, he was experimenting on the Duchess.
Yeah.
And he was able to bring back the Duchess, who is also like a super mind thing.
Everett Freed, through his occult science, was able to achieve supernatural effects.
So he like accomplished magic through science,
Yes.
basically. So that does match up with this concept that a powerful spellcaster could be transformed by contamination in such a way that they think they've retained
Yes.
control.
One of the things that the group did discover earlier is that, and this is consistent with your own knowledge of the history of magic, is that in ancient days, the mighty sorcerer kings that ruled the old empire as tyrants experimented with blood transfusions and mingling their lineages with magical creatures to increase their own sorcerous power.
Cool.
And
Bad.
and thus their modern day descendants became tieflings and dragonborn. And so that which is why all tieflings and all dragonborn are almost universally mageborn, because they're the product of the sorcerer kings and their noble vassals engaging in centuries of this attempt to augment their own magical powers. And so our heroes had previously, when they raided Freed's lab at the university, had discovered evidence that Freed and his other compatriots were looking into this sort of idea of using, but what their specific angle was hypothesizing that what the Sorcerer Kings had achieved was a multi-generational project. Whereas Freed's research and those of his companions, many of which who are now slain, seem to indicate an interest in using delirium to accelerate that process. But of course, you knowing what you know about delirium, like, it's just too contaminated and unpredictable. Like, the results of that, it would work, but in the respect that
You would become a creature whose purpose is to spread contamination. So you think that the Duchess is also here, then?
There were those reports. Elias told us of a creature that was spotted not long before we arrived.
Spotted, but moving in a certain direction.
Through the water.
We've had reports of sightings of it along the way.
the Dran River is a big river. It's a large enough river that trade ships can go up it, and so the river originates past Drakkenheim and then flows through the country, comes through Todsfeld, and then goes out to the bay. And at Todsfeld, it had been dammed. So in years prior, what would happen, because Todsfeld was such an industrial hub, was that lumber ships would come down the river, stop before the dam, unload lumber, which would then be used in the industry of Todsfeld, and then kind of the great position that Todsfeld held and why it became so wealthy is that any trade that came down the river had to stop at Todsfeld because of the dam, thus pay the taxes of Todsfeld, unload, come around the dam, load back up again, and then go out to Dransmond and the ocean. And the destruction of the dam, in addition to destroying the industry of Todsfeld, really disrupted that entire thing, but also allowed contamination to flow further and out into the ocean.
Freed is under the ground. He's in the mines, he's under the ground, being some sort of freaky being a strange
No, Freed is in the
combination.
keep.
His
Wait,
presence.
He's here in the keep.
There's something down there. I do not know what it is.
You're sure he's in the keep?
I saw him this morning.
Well,
Looking like a regular human person?
One thing to note about Everett Freed is he was a master surgeon as well and had done a lot. We were recently on a mission which tied into all of this to save the Duke's son, not your father, the Duke of Altbrook, who had been taken by Everett Freed.
When he was experimenting on the students?
Yes. Unfortunately, when we found the Duke's son, Christoph, his brain had been removed, and Everett Freed had been using his body as a puppet for himself. Everett Freed has proven that he can displace himself.
So Freed has unchained himself from his mortal flesh,
It's possible.
and whatever's walking around dressed as him.
Could be an extension of him, could be a version of him. He could be multiple things.
And undoubtedly killing his body will not.
Freed escaped them initially because they raided Freed's lab and found Freed's own body with his brain removed. And
We traded the body for Rudy's and Pluto's and Sebastian's life.
to escape.
So now he has the body back.
He has his own body back.
Right.
But when we were in the forest, going against him and his colleagues, he was using Christoph's body as a staple. And as soon as we killed that body, I guess he moved off to a different one. We don't know how that happens, but he's able to switch between bodies of his consciousness.
I still think that, we've taken the front gates. We're standing here at the...
Yes, we should finish what we started.
Regardless, this sounds like it goes far deeper,
Literally.
than we imagined. I do think that we still need to occupy the castle. We need to take care of your father. As an honorable man, I don't know if killing your father outright is the right choice, although I imagine that even before all of this started, he was still not a great person. But he may not be himself.
Is that not more reason, perhaps? If he's transforming into a monster,
Depending on the state we find him in, we may have to put him out of his misery, but
if he placed his trust in Freed, I have no confidence even that his transformation is entirely due to contamination.
fair enough. I'm not a fan of your father, and it feels strange to kill somebody who's not in their own mind, but
Wilhelm, remember how we all started this, the Herlick family. They were taken over by contamination, and we have to do what has to be done to stop its spread.
you're right.
Off with his head.
I just really like nobly dueling people, and I keep running into people who have no chance to stand up for themselves as regular people. It just doesn't happen.
The duels are fine, but sometimes you gotta know when to bring in an executioner. And this is one of those moments.
That's why we brought you.
Shaking the axe.
Oh, man.
That's a great line.
Well, I think, Cans, I'm really sorry for what's happened to you, but I hope you understand that with everything going on, especially the way you've been speaking, currently we can't trust you to have your own mind. You will be kept tied up and under the watch of our guard until such a time as all of this is over. If you prove yourself loyal and we can clear you of whatever is affecting your mind, perhaps we can have negotiations on where you belong in all of this.
He shakes for a moment and says, I offer myself to the mercy of the crown.
And Why should we trust that when you threw your allegiance to von Fritz?
The fact remains that you had allegiance to my father long before anyone controlled your mind.
He simply restates, I submit myself to your custody. Do with me what you will. I know I have done wrong here.
If I cast Identify on him, are there any spells affecting him?
Give me an Arcana check.
Because I don't know if this is a spell. 26.
This man is indeed charmed, and under the effect of a charm. In fact, it's not. I'm. The closest analog would be something along the lines of actually dominate person affecting him, but perhaps whatever's happened recently, he has been able, whether it was the combat, he might have been able to wrestle out of it, but was very recently under the effect of effectively a dominate person spell.
But he's no longer under its effect now.
There is, as you cast Identify, there is a presence that is watching through his mind. But that it seems like something more than just a spell.
Okay.
Does he have any, and maybe Wilhelm, you can help me, look for any surgical scars?
Terrence, I'm going to need you to, I guess you're chained up. Sorry. I unlock the chains and
Shave his head.
I'm going to do an examination.
Yeah, give me an investigation check.
I'm no doctor, but
I cast Guidance.
I actually have proficiency in medicine because, I mean, not that this would be a medicine check, but like I studied medicine because
If you help Wilhelm, I'll give him investigation advantage because of your proficiency.
I would like to help you.
together with the guidance of Wrath.
You can do it, buddy.
Thanks. That's going to be investigation, so 31.
Whoa.
Checking him out conclusively, he's wounded, he's been magically affected, but his body has not been modified or any of the signs of like his brain being taken out or removed. No evidence of that.
I put the chains back on and I leave him in the custody of the Hooded Lanterns until such a time that we can figure out what to do with him. But I won't slay him. He gave up very quickly.
Yes.
And he opened the gate for our troops to come in.
Oh,
so-
I'm not arguing for his death, although I don't think you should place any significant trust in a man who served my father for so long.
No, he might be able to live out his days in the castle as like a custodian or, I don't know, under the watch of...
Don't give him any keys.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give him any keys.
That's fair enough.
Fair.
Elias Drexel comes up. We've done it. Your Majesty, if you command it, most of the defenders here, only a skeleton force remains defending the keep. At this stage, if the Duke of Todsfeld is there, if you wish, I will order the Steel Fangs and the Irregulars to invade the keep, and you may rest on your success.
I think that it's important that we ourselves see the Duke of Todsfeld and Everett Freed.
Certainly, I would have said that the soldiers would be able to go in and bring them out in chains if you would prefer, or if you would like to lead that yourself, that's no problem. But you've risked a lot today, my king.
Have the troops rested? Are they ready for more combat?
We did lose many in the bombardment, but fortunately, we are still in fighting shape, and many of the troops, they respect you deeply, Your Majesty, because you were able to stop that so quickly for them. And even hearing back from the reports that we're getting from the city, the folk of Todsfeld originally there were rumors spreading that you had been responsible for this bombardment, but now that the truth is being able to come out, the Duke of Todsfeld fired on his own people. already word is spreading in the town of the righteousness of King Wilhelm.
Well, I say then, Elias, it's probably time to kick down the door and put an end to this, at least this portion. If you could lead the way with the troops, and we will go in behind, and I would like to speak to the Duke and Everett Freed once they are obtained.
I have a
Very good.
hunch.
Yes.
That well.
You just kind of went down it and then came back out and started talking about stuff. I didn't really... was the water
presence-
dirty?
I imagine that while you stayed down there, I probably gave like a brief since I came up a little earlier.
Yes, you said Everett Freed was in the well.
Talking in our brains.
Yes, his presence is strong down there. I do believe that there's some kind of trick here. It should
Yes.
not be so easy. I believe if we send Elias Drexel in to the keep, we should monitor any of the exits, including the well.
Perhaps...
We have more than enough forces to completely surround the keep.
Yes, maybe station a guard at the well.
Perhaps,
Just in case.
Maybe a couple, yeah.
Is
But
it
we-
worth us going in?
Into the well?
No, into the keep.
I mean, for all we know, they're in there.
I think that if the troops could take care of any of the constructs, we'll make our way to the throne room.
Elias Drexel says, I do have to admit, these creations of Freed and the Academy, they are formidable soldiers. I have, despite the strength of the Irregulars and the Steel Fangs, it definitely would have taken an elite force to do what we've done here today. Most rank and file soldiers would not have been capable of taking on these sorts, but we'll send some of our best, and...
Oh, sorry, I thought you said that it was easy to just sweep in there and finish this off. If you need us to go in, we can go in.
There's nothing easy about a siege, Your Majesty.
No, I know. You said let's just go in and finish it off. I misunderstood, Elias. We can go in. Like we're capable.
All I'll say is that all I'm saying is that our soldiers are ready and willing to go in, but I expect that any attack that we launch, there will be casualties on our side.
They're willing to give up their lives for you, is what he's saying.
That's Elias. You've also worked very hard. You rode all the way here. All that we did is took out the front gate and enchanted a beholder and
All the cannons and the ballistas.
Don't worry about it. You've done a lot. We can go in with some of the best,
Okay.
hopefully to alleviate some of the pressure of the remaining troops in there. Our goal is to make it to the throne room, to confront Everett Freed, whatever version of him we may find, and your father, Duke von Fritz.
Yes, I do believe that we should be the ones to go in there because I think that it's important that I be present when you finish your business with the Duke.
Are any of your siblings supposed to be here in the keep?
Yes, Heidi lives here.
Elias,
Where might she be right now?
if you find any...
I would like
Living.
to think that he wouldn't have turned her into anything, but who knows? He's never been a caring man for his children, but at this point it doesn't seem likely that he's thinking rationally.
And who knows how much sway Freed has in terms of that decision. He might not care at all for your family, so
Yes.
we should probably keep in mind that it's not just finding Freed, but it's finding your family too.
Any non-constructs, any humans living that you manage to find, please do not kill them.
Certainly, if we find any other survivors, we will make sure that they are safely taken care of and not mistreated. It seems to me that Freed and the Duke have committed a great atrocity against their own staff and soldiers. I'm concerned now about what has just this word that the castle staff is gone, and that the Duke did this to his own men.
Yes. He's quite the villain, it seems.
I wish I had sending. That would have been such a smart one to take.
Then
I could just send her a message and be like, "What's up, sis?"
Drexel does say that it's very concerning because what Von Fritz has in this small force here, I've never seen a unit like it before. If he had more time, if he had more resources, the type of army that you could build with this terrifies me.
Well, that's why Everett Freed is running out of time very quickly. I say we kick down the door. Or,
Very
break
well
it
then.
down. Maybe kicking might not do it.
Ava? Ava? Ava, do you have any, alarm triggering?
I have alarm.
I have a lot.
Could we set something in the well?
Ooh, set alarm around the well. That's actually
Or
that's a good
either on the
idea.
well or at the bottom of the well? I
Yeah.
have a feeling that it is a capable escape route.
Yeah, it feels like it's got to be connected to the mines.
And the presence that I felt of Everett Freed was much stronger and I did not reach the bottom.
This also means that if the mine is barricaded, it might be in our best interest once we finish taking the keep, that our entry point is to go down the well.
Ooh.
I got another idea. If we're worried about him escaping, is there any way we can block the top of
I
the
have
well?
stone shape. I can just mold the whole thing over.
I was gonna say
That's great.
arcane lock that I can lock a door on top if we need it, but stone shape?
Yeah.
That's another good one. We could just close it.
Magic can do so many wonderful things.
Yeah, but not summon ores though. That's too much.
Yeah, that's actually a lot to ask.
Okay, then sure, if we're ready for that to happen, because the other thing is I can only do stone shape once today.
Well, would we be able to, I suppose we could, once we take this whole keep, rest up for the evening and take on the mine the following day.
Yeah.
That might be the safest bet.
We may not want to go into the dark depths below without being at our best.
We did
could
get a
also-
short rest,
I was gonna
right?
say,
Yeah.
I did not roll for that yet.
Should we, before we go down the well, we could just go up to it and just like sunbeam right down it, just like. But that only goes, what, 60 feet? I don't know.
Yes, and you've determined that the well is up more than 100 feet
I'll
deep.
send Glyph down 100 feet and then cast sunbeam through Glyph to the bottom of the well.
Examining at the further steps, what you do determine, though, from that well, was that the well was built to be about 100 feet deep.
Oh, so it was deepened.
It had been deepened. And it's rough earth. Like, there's the brickwork construction that goes down 100 feet, and then there's no bottom. There was no bottom to that well where the water was. It would just kept going.
It's not a
Did
very
it-
functional well.
No, not anymore.
Did it look like the part that was hollowed out past the stone? Did that look like it was dug or like burrowed? Was there any way to tell what created that?
Yeah, give me a nature check.
Nature. Ooh. Okay, that's not bad actually.
Guidance.
Oh yeah, guidance? Can I
Oh,
guidance
what
you?
a lovely idea. Where's the 4?
Really think about it.
Oh, God.
If Baldur's Gate has taught me anything,
God.
it's that you can just cast guidance every
On
time
everything.
And I have
anybody.
to
Unless
remember
you're
it.
trying to persuade Shadowheart of something.
Yeah.
Okay, 17 plus 8, 23.
Okay. You have studied various magical creatures throughout your career. The tunneling that you see, the way that it has been dug, straight down, but then irregular. It doesn't make any sense. Why would you but it looks like a purple worm tunnel.
Doesn't make any sense, but it looked like a purple worm tunnel.
What's a purple worm?
Like the crater worms from Drakkenheim?
A big, terrible worm that's purple.
That
Very, very
mean,
bad.
Super scientific.
they named it very well. If that, yeah, that
Well, yeah, naturally, it's named for the worm's color, but it is not like like an earthworm. It is a vast creature capable of great destruction.
there were worms in the crater of Drakkenheim that were massive and terrible.
Were they
weren't.
purple?
No, they were.
Well,
What color were they?
Purple.
Were they?
I remember now.
We haven't seen any of these
But a
worms.
purple worm and a crater worm,
drawn
they're
for me.
not the same thing.
No,
He
but
said
they're
hopefully.
physiologically similar.
All right.
they're both worms, is the thing.
And they're both huge and purple.
So it's kind of, it might be one of those things where, like, you know how, what is it, like all toads are frogs, but not all frogs are toads. So
Right.
crater worms are purple worms
but
that
not
live
all
in the
purple
crater.
worms are crater worms.
Yes. Got it. So yes.
This one's a well worm.
Right, the
purple-
taxonomy of the worm, the worm taxonomical breakdown includes, yes, crater worms, and then also such other variations of purple worms as the
well worm.
well worm, the magma worm.
Oh,
cetera.
magma worms are, they are cousins. They're not purple, they're red. But
Frost worm.
frost worms.
Yes, yeah. The sky worm.
Skyworm's the worst.
Yeah.
Hate
Yeah,
that one.
they burrow through clouds.
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah.
Did you know there were so many types of worms?
My eyes have been opened.
But it seems almost like a purple worm did this construction.
Of course, the deadliest type of worm known is the earworm.
Oh, the earworm.
Are they also
Bards
giant?
have control over such things.
No, they're actually quite small.
To get in your ear.
Ba-dum,
So not.
ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Forget it.
I don't know what you're referencing. Oh. I was like, if someone was supposed to come in with a lyric, I should not know it.
Now forget that.
I can't.
Yes.
Yeah.
You did it.
I did.
Okay, we're getting sidetracked.
The worms out of his ears! I don't know how!
Great. Let's kick down the door.
Can you, don't you, Willem, do you wish to say something before we storm the keep?
I still have 19 temporary hit points, but I guess I can.
So do I.
I didn't get hit. What happened to you, Wrath?
Make note of that.
I mean, I'm quite robust.
You know, okay, Wrath, you know,
Yeah. Just say something nice.
you guys,
Put me up.
You've done such an excellent job. Wrath, one of the most deadly creatures known to man is the Beholder. We created one out of nothing, and you warped its mind to your will. Not many mages can do that.
None can do what I have done.
You might be the most powerful mage in the world.
I am the most powerful mage in the world.
Have 19 temporary hit points.
And
Rudy,
then I just walk off, just like, so pumped.
Rudy, I saw you shoot lightning and then turn into a giant and proceed to kill a 10-armed monstrosity with 10 delirium-bladed weapons like it was nothing.
Well, it was a Thursday, so. You know.
That's what I'm saying. You're the most powerful warrior in the world? Have 19 temporary hit points.
I walk away being like, I am the most powerful warrior in the world.
How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. I still have those.
I just met you, but you're great.
Thank you. It would have felt a little false if you had then told me I was the most powerful mage in the world after I heard what you said to Wrath. Should I stone shape this well, or
Are we going... But you can only do it once per day,
once
so
per
I guess...
day? I could cast alarm if we don't want to do it.
Well, we'll have to go into the well later.
Right, are we going to do that today?
What's the range on alarm?
Alarm is cast on a door, window, or an area. So I could cast it around the surface of the well. It's a 20-foot cube. And then whenever anything enters that area, I am notified.
Yeah, that's fine.
And the robe. Do we have anything
Oh,
that
yes.
we can...
We have our robes of useful items that the Amethyst Academy provides to their graduates.
Does the robe contain a door that happens to be circular?
Yes.
What is the shape?
It does?
I mean, I think it contains
Just to be clear, there's also a ton of soldiers here that can guard the well.
Yeah, but what if they all get murdered?
I was thinking more so that it's not the opening of the well, but it's whatever the T section / tunnel area that's below the well.
Right, if they have a purple worm mind-controlled or surgically controlled or whatever, they could bust up anywhere in the courtyard.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a lot.
We could ignore it.
Alarm.
No, let's just put alarm on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But can we get it to the bottom of the well?
Would you like
I-
to
it's
alarm it
more
or
than
shall
100
I?
feet down.
I know, that's the problem.
Who's going to alarm
I
it?
can alarm it as a ritual, so it costs
Yeah,
me nothing.
do it.
Okay, I will cast alarm as a ritual.
Now, how would you like to approach the keep?
I think you had a suggestion.
Well,
Burst through the door.
we either burst through the front door, or I can literally walk up to the roof. But do we expect the Duke in his throne room or in his quarters?
Or in the bathroom,
That's a possibility.
depending on the timing. Of
Maybe wandering the halls, looking at art. I don't know. What does your
He's
what,
having
Doubtful.
breakfast.
what time of day
Where
is
do
it?
Sorry.
Well, I think it's getting close to dusk.
Where would your father usually be at dusk?
Well, not just where would he be at dusk, but also do I have an idea of where he would go if he knew the castle were under attack? Because I'm sure he's not
The
surprised.
at this stage, once a castle is sieged down to the keep, it's do or die. And so the keep is meant to be the most secure point, and once you're inside the keep, it's either find a way out or not. What you do know is that because of the castle's proximity on the swamp, there's not really any sort of like escape tunnel
right.
from here, unless he's created one without you knowing, right? You do know that the keep has magical wards that you put in place that mean you can't just teleport inside.
Right.
But beyond that, your father increasingly was more and more confined to his own quarters, which lie on just under the top floor of the. So the keep is roughly a 3 or 4 story building, and so the lowest level is the Great Hall and the throne room. Underneath the Great Hall is another set of storerooms, castle kitchens. Again, because of the swamp, they couldn't build much underground, so it's mostly foundation down there. And then the floors above the Great Hall are mostly the family apartments and other.
And that
quarters.
might be where Heidi would be also then.
At that point, like the higher up you go, the higher up the family tree you go.
I think it's. Why don't we do both? Elias and the rest of the Octenwald Irregulars and the Steel Fangs will burst down through the door, fight the troops inside, and take the throne room at the bottom. We can head up to the roof. I can literally walk up there. You can fly. You can climb, and you can magic.
Yeah.
Great.
If you throw down a rope, I can just make sure we can. I'll give you
great.
some help.
Okay.
And my robe has a ladder.
Oh.
Also, Bo, are we at all concerned about where Freed is? Because at this point, I think there's a good chance that he is the more dangerous entity.
I think regardless of how we step forward, he's already shown he can get into our minds and figure out what we're doing. So
It's true, he might come to us.
he might at least, no matter how we approach this, know we're
And that's why we're going to do the pincher move and have some go in the top,
Okay.
some go in the bottom.
Okay.
There's no escape.
The Steel Fangs and the Irregulars bust out a battering ram, and they begin battering down the front door.
I run up the side of the wall and lower down a rope tied to one of the...
Okay. Along the rooftop, clambering up, there are a few of the defenders that are of these creations of Freed that have been up on the top of the walls, but they're easily enough dispatched as you take them out, right? Also, in the time of the resting, the hooded lanterns, like there's been a constant ranged fire between them both, and so most of the crenellations and the battlements on the top of the keep, the hooded lanterns and the steel fangs have managed to shoot down. So as you climb up onto the top of the battlements, you can see the sort of the ventilated remains and the shot down remains of several of Freed's creations that are here. And then so you see from here that there's the roof. So essentially with most of the castle construction there's the four walls and the two towers that are holding it up. And then there's several levels down below where essentially there's the wooden rooftops that cover over the top, and then but there's a doorway that leads into the towers that then connects across all the floors through a spiral staircase. So you can place your miniatures on the rooftop for now.
Well, I say we take it one floor at a time, head down, sweep the floor, and Elias and
Sweep the floor. We don't have time for cleaning. We're sieging the keep.
Cleanliness
Sorry.
is next to godliness. It's one of my rules.
That's one of the rule number.
Prestidigitate as I go along.
Sorry.
Sweeping across the rooftop, you head in towards take the tower door, which opens into. It is a small turret with a parapet, where several munitions and other supplies are normally left, with the trapdoor that opens into a spiral staircase that leads down to the level below.
I cast mage armor on myself.
I turn invisible and I'll go first.
Ooh.
You enter into the tower of Castle Sodden's Keep. Castle Sodden is in a state of disrepair. It has been for years, with the Duke neglecting the regular maintenance. And so as you head down the wet, slick steps that show the signs of the various leaking fluids of Freed's constructed defenders, the thick dust and the unclean environment, heading down the stairs, you hear the sound of the front gate being breached by the Ochtenwald Irregulars with a crash, and the sounds of screams and the howls of the Riautomata fighting in the Great Hall below. As the sound of the final assault rings through, you take the stairs down to the top level, where you know are your father's personal quarters. Because you have been here, I'm fine with the layout being here. You know that your father has a personal office and study, and then his own bed chamber on this level, connected by a hallway. So you know that there is the bed chamber, the study, and then
a door between them as well as the
yeah,
exterior.
and then the hall. And so the hall here is a decorated hall with several tall, thin windows. There are several stone benches between, and the hall is covered in the rotting paintings of the von Fritz family ancestors. There is a bust of your great-great-grandmother along here as well, and several old upholstered benches and seats that have many of the padding torn out of them. The upholstery is faded. Across the hall is a tattered, ill-kept carpet that is growing mold in a bit of it. And you smell an acrid smell like that of almost an acidic smell mixed with that of human waste.
Ooh. Do I know from my studies of contamination if that acrid smell is like related at all to that?
The smell that is associated with delirium is actually the smell of ozone.
Okay.
But that smell is most prominently smelled in Drakkenheim proper.
Right.
And often is a smell associated with delirium when it is most magically active.
Okay. Well, there's a study and a bedchamber, and they have a connecting door. We can start wherever you choose.
Well, I suppose we should go check the study and bedchamber.
You can all roll me a d6.
5.
5.
5.
1.
Okay. Wrath, give me a perception check.
I'm leading the
Invisibly?
Invisibly?
invisibly leading the scene. Perception?
Mm-hmm.
17. Plus I have witch's sight. Like I can super see things.
You can't you?
Extra C.
Illusion and transmutation.
Okay. As you walk down the halls, something is wrong with the entire castle. Several of the bricks. You walk by, and in the stonework with your witch sight, you see one of the bricks open its mouth and lick its lips, and you see its teeth. And then one of the other bricks, it winks at you.
What was in that eggplant that I ate from that tower?
Why, are you feeling unsettled in your stomach?
I'm gonna continue I want to investigate the bricks a little closer.
As you investigate the bricks, you hear the creaking sound of the door to the study as the handle clacks and begins to open. What do you do?
Are we all in the hallway now, or is it just me?
You're all in the hall.
We're all in the hallway. I want to telepathically reach out to Wilhelm and tell him
Hello.
that the bricks have mouths.
Wrath.
As you telepathically reach out to Wilhelm, both of you can make charisma saving throws.
Oh no!
Wrath, stop, no!
Don't talk to me in my brain! I get an 18?
I get a 23.
Okay. You feel that presence. It's crushing and powerful, as if all of its eyes, the sight without eyes, is set right in this space.
Does my blind sense give me any indication?
The walls are crawling with something watching.
Ugh. Don't like it.
And as the door opens,
Oh yeah, the door.
Yeah, I'm gonna prepare.
That's all I see.
Prepare a firebolt. I just want to be ready to cast it if anything comes through the door.
I'm drawing my blade.
I raise my axe.
I'm staring at the brick.
the door opens, and a pale hand reaches forward and says, "Stay your weapons and spells."
Is it my dad?
It's Everett Freed's voice.
No.
I agree with the king.
No, thank you.
No.
What's wrong with this castle?
The Everett Freed says, "The Duke does not have much time. It would be best if you wish to say your goodbyes to visit him now."
I mean,
Are all of the bricks doing the tongue thing? Or
Um,
most of them?
an alarming number of them are.
The
I
walls are alive. I do not know if we've experienced this before, but this place may have been taken over by the delirium that flows through the waters underneath.
The contaminated castle.
The castle has become contaminated.
Everett Freed says, "Your sister has already bid her farewells. If you wish her well as well, you may want to speak with your father. I have been his trusted doctor for some time. Do you not wish to take my advice?"
I do not wish to take your advice, and I suspect that my father has no time remaining in the way that would be meaningful to anyone. Where is my sister?
The Everett Freed steps further into the hallway, and he says, You see the man. He is wearing a surgeon's gown, bloodied,
Yeah.
and he carries a belt with several surgical tools in sort of a pouch that is strung around his side. A mask has been pulled down around his neck, and his head is shaved, and you can see the bolts where he has closed his cranium back from when he opened it up. His flesh is sallow and almost a twinge of, around his eyes, that are pitted with green and greenish purple welts around his eyes, which are completely bloodshot and almost bulging out of his face. As he speaks, you can see the grime in between his teeth, and his tongue is slick with some sort of acidic drool.
There's no way that man has a medical license.
And
Very insanitary.
and in and around him, you can see that he has a sort of a delicate, almost folded leather wallet that has perhaps a dozen syringes in it that glow with orange and purple light.
Freed, we've been hunting you for a long time. Your time is up, and you will face the consequences of your crimes. Stand down, or we will see to it that your life ends here and now.
He steps back, raises his hands, and gestures to the door. He says, he licks his lips, and as he does so, his tongue flicks. One of his teeth falls out and clacks on the floor. And as he puts his hands aside, you can see that his skin is peeling away and many of his fingernails have fallen out.
On second thought, I think your time ran out a while ago, Everett. Perhaps it's not worth keeping you around anymore.
And as he coughs, just this bile splatters on the ground.
Rudy? You might need an executioner.
I take a step forward towards him with my axe. at the ready.
And he says, "You think you can stop this? You think you can control this? I thought the same. Didn't realize that I could have everything I wanted if I just embraced it." Roll for initiative.
It's so gross.
Mr. Freed.
Oh my god, my initiative has been terrible this whole game.
Yeah.
Ava?
I don't think I'm above
7.
10. Yeah.
Wilhelm?
25.
Whoa.
Rudy?
15.
Wrath?
I'm also 7. Would you like to go first?
Nice. Sure. Yep.
Don't be too confident.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay.
Frightened, poisoned, immunities. Wisdom saving throw advantage.
Okay.
Super inspired. I'm the greatest mage in the world.
That's right.
Wilhelm, you are the first to act.
So I point at Rudy and I say, "Rudy, we need an executioner." You step forward and I run past you. And
Too slow.
We start in unison, but you're just faster
Yeah.
than me.
and I'm going to swing my blade at his throat.
Okay.
That's going to be 30.
Ooh. Your blade goes right for his throat, catching in whatever disgusting blood is flowing through his body.
So many dice.
Just a midful.
51 damage.
Okay.
So the blade goes in his throat, but I imagine he's still standing.
Yep.
And I pull the blade out and then swing it across his neck again. I don't know why I rolled damage there and not attack. I got a 26 to hit.
You hit.
32 more damage.
Freed chokes. As the blade sticks in his neck, he reaches down into his pouch. And as your arm extends it into it, he takes out a small syringe and jabs it into your arm. And pushes the poison in. He casts Touch of Death.
What is that?
It's not actually a poison, though. It's
Make a
spell.
melee spell attack against a target within 5 feet of you. On a hit, the target takes 200 poison damage.
I'm immune to poison.
This damage ignores any resistance
Oh.
or immunity the creature has to poison damage and can't be reduced or prevented in any way.
Oh my god.
Counterspell? Is it a spell?
Yeah.
It is a spell.
I can counterspell.
It is a 9th level spell.
Oh my god. Wait, how does counterspell work again? You gotta do, if the counterspell is lower than the level of the spell, something gets rolled, right?
Yes,
I
correct.
could counterspell, the highest level I could do that is 7th.
Okay, and as an abjuration wizard, I believe you add your proficiency bonus
Ooh,
to that check.
You can take 200 poison
that's
damage.
nice.
I mean, worst comes to worst, I have it as a 3rd level spell, so I don't know how much I can do.
So Everett Freed gets a 25 to hit with Touch of Death.
Oh my god. Okay. Hang on, let me see if I can find the abjuration.
Wait, he did to
It
hit?
can't be reduced.
Yeah, add your
Yeah.
proficiency
The
bonus to
potent
ability
poison
check.
lingers in the target's body and pulls it towards death. A target reduced to 0 hit points by this poison damage automatically fails death saving throws until it finishes a long rest.
Oh my
A heal or greater restoration spell cast on the target also ends this effect.
Okay, I'm gonna counterspell at 7th level.
Okay. In this case, just to give you the assurance, upcasting counterspell offers no bonus.
Oh, it doesn't. So
Yeah.
you're getting closer to the.
No.
Sorry,
no.
I'm a terrible wizard.
That's okay.
Well, then I'm gonna cast it at the lowest possible level, which would
Okay.
be 3rd.
Okay. So you need to roll. You add your spellcasting ability modifier and your proficiency bonus to this check.
Okay, spellcasting ability modifier plus 6, and proficiency is 5. So I add 11 to the check.
Yep, and you need to get a 19 or higher.
Oh my god, I gotta get like the best D20 I have.
It's okay. This is just to save the
This is
king.
This is
The
not a...
King of Westamar.
If my character dies, this is how you'll be remembered.
That was a D12. Good thing I didn't roll that.
Oh man, the max on this is terrible! You shoot yourself in the foot.
It's a very fancy die. Okay. Makes them more confusing. That's an 11, so a 22.
As he jams the needle into Wilhelm's arm, and you feel the magic pulsing through his body, you push all the magic out of the syringe, and harmless fluid flows into Wilhelm.
Oh!
I can't. Don't make me do that again.
I just thought stabbing him in the throat would kill him.
Well, wrong.
With that, his spell countered, Everett Freed grits his teeth.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Thank you for saving the king.
Yay!
Again.
Really appreciate that.
Who designed this spell? Oh yeah.
I mean, it is a 9th level spell. It's meant to be like, yeah. And it was countered, so we saw that it can be undone.
Okay.
200 poison damage.
Wild.
Wow. And you can't reduce it, so you couldn't even like half it with like anything.
No.
No.
Cool.
Well, I'm gonna assume that was his only 9th level spell.
Rudy, it's your turn.
It's nuts because that can't kill me, so I'm coming in and I yell to Wilhelm like, duck! And I come in.
Where?
Avoid the ducks! And I'm gonna go in with my axe. So that's 13.
Your axe goes in, and Freed ducks as well.
Oh, so I
Shouldn't have given him
swing
a warning.
and I come back down and I
It's like,
hammer
thanks.
it.
Yeah. Thanks
Oh,
for
I crit! Yay! 35 damage.
Okay.
And one more. Good measure. No, that's a miss.
The axe, the critical hit comes right down, smashing Everett Freed right in the face, and the axe goes right through his eye, and you pull it out, and as he stands there, you see the hollow skull behind his face, and his remaining eye just looks back over, as like the other eye is like drooping down its face, and it still turns and looks back at you.
Go to him and I say, stop hiding behind your puppets and face us!
And with that, we go to Ava.
Okay.
So scary.
I don't know how crazy this is, but I would like to cast telekinesis and try to remove his wallet of syringes
Okay.
and move it to me.
Okay. With telekinesis, can you grab?
It says that it's a contested check between my spellcasting ability and the creature's strength.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, telekinesis. Okay, here we go.
What you got?
That's a 1.
You rolled a natural 1.
I did.
What's the result? Adding your spell.
7.
So I rolled a 5, and my strength modifier is -1.
Yoink!
Amazing!
It's like a really weak tug of war.
Yeah.
You're like, come on. And he's like, no.
I almost imagine that it's effortless. Like with Rudy's axe buried in his head and Wilhelm's sword in his throat, just like the eye is looking at Rudy, and you're just able to snatch the syringes off of
And I
him.
just want, I can move it 30 feet, so I just want to bring it to me, basically
Yeah.
put it in my own hands. Oh yeah, put him up here.
Nice.
And that is it for me.
Okay.
That's my turn.
Wrath.
Standing behind Wilhelm and Rudy, I just, between them, I'm just gonna just start blasting him into the wall.
Okay.
And so I just Does a 23 hit?
It does.
Does a 28 and does a 17 hit?
They all hit.
Then I start blasting them into the wall as hard as I can. 18 plus 36 damage in total, force damage.
Okay. With a thunk and a noise, Wilhelm's blade pulls free and Rudy's axe pulls free as Freed is blasted back towards the wall, and he sort of convulses with the shots, but whatever is animating this body is insensible to pain, and it shambles, jerking the nerves of the body, twitching back towards you.
I also want to emphasize that the walls are licking their lips. Like, I really don't know if I've been...
Wrath, this just sounds like the things you say on a regular basis. So I don't know.
I really need you to listen.
Yes, I'm sure.
Moment.
The cats in the walls are licking their lips. Yay, cats.
These aren't cats.
It's your turn.
These aren't cats. They're bricks.
Charge forward again.
Oh my god.
And drive my blade. Actually, I'm gonna go to like cleave his head like through to the wall.
Okay.
This time I duck.
Getting a 23.
You hit. Varenthorn swishes because Varenthorn has both a cutting edge and a stabbing edge.
Yeah.
It is more like a longsword than anything else.
I just feel like people aren't listening when I say that the walls are gonna eat us. I feel like it's being
I'm
ignored.
listening because I'm not desensitized to your weirdness yet. So I'm like, oh my god!
49 damage.
I'm just like,
Wilhelm, Varenthorn,
we don't always
with
take it
a
seriously.
effortless stroke, you sever Everett Freed's head from his body. The head flies off, landing on the ground with a crack as a piece of the skull opens up, revealing that the skull is completely empty. And as Everett Freed's headless body shudders and begins to convulse, as a mass of tentacles burst forth out of the neck stump of Everett Freed's body, and his flesh warps, becoming this purple mauve bruised form as his clothes fall away, and the tentacled mass that emerges from his neck.
Oh no.
Just looking at this art, weren't we?
Yep.
Mewtwo!
Why does everything we kill not die?
No!
gosh.
Oh man. It's a freaking mind flayer.
Well, the mini is.
the mini is, until Leandra finishes the sculpt. The form of his body is reminiscent of the creature that you faced all that long ago in the depths of the Elfmire.
The puppet master.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Wait.
Wait, remind me. What was this?
We went into the Elvenmire wetlands when the people of Schaffberg were being mind controlled, and we
Yes.
tried to save them all, but we ended up having to slaughter an entire town of
killed a
people.
lot of people.
Then we went into the swamps, which are right next to here. We found the lizard people that were taking villagers to the ruins in the swamp.
Oh yeah.
And the creature with the tentacle heads that tried to eat my brain.
Yep.
It tried to like do things to us.
And it got away, didn't it?
It got away. It
Yes.
teleport. It went
through the place.
the
It
place.
slipped through, yeah.
It slipped.
Good question though is, did Everett Freed become this, or was it Everett Freed all along?
I don't know. But meanwhile, none of this conversation is actually really happening because Wilhelm instead is going,
Okay. As
Can I take my second?
yes,
attack?
you can, yeah.
So I slice his head off, and I'm like, haha, and then, and I'm like, nah, and I swing at it again in desperation. Actually, You know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that at all. Instead, what I'm going to do is the braver, more courageous thing, and I'm going to use my bonus action to disengage
Yes, King.
and
Leave me.
fall back and go, Rudy! Help!
Duck!
I hate tentacles!
The new form of Everett Freed bristles and levitates into the air, octarine light resonating from its hands as the tentacled mass almost forms like a weaving web of hair behind it as it floats into the air. And oh man, this is the upgraded version. This is not the Sebastian Crow's Guide to Drakkenheim version of this monster. This is the new upgraded mastermind version of this monster.
Oh, good.
The first thing it's going to do is unleash a mind scramble, which affects all of you. I need you to all make intelligence saving throws.
Not wisdom. That would.
And if you have spell slots, you make this saving throw with disadvantage.
Oh no!
That's my thing. It's like the thing that I do.
Does my sword giving me spell?
What
No,
is
I don't
it?
have spell
No.
slots.
Intelligence?
Oh god, I rolled that on both of them.
Sure glad I'm out of luck points.
What do we got?
6.
6.
16.
12.
Everyone fails. So everyone takes a grand total of 21 psychic damage. However, was anybody concentrating on a spell?
No.
Telekinesis.
But is it a concentration? Because I put it in my hand. I deposited the thing in my hands.
Did you want to stop concentrating on telekinesis?
I mean, if I had thought about it, I probably would have kept it up because it could be useful.
Okay, so you take an extra 66 damage because you're concentrating on a
Great.
spell.
Just gotta be real with you. I probably would have had it up.
So you take an extra 20 psychic damage.
Great. 20 plus, what was the first number?
21, so 41 psychic damage.
41 psychic damage.
Then the creature reaches out as this is its multi-attack. So it does that first, and then it's going to reach out with its tentacles and make contaminated touch attacks against.
I'm like,
It goes Rudy, Raph,
you are the closest,
Wilhelm.
but actually, it's going to do something with Rudy first. Rudy,
Oh, sorry.
it weaves its hand, and I need you to make a Wisdom saving throw.
ooh,
Advantage!
and I'm actually pretty good at this. 16.
You fail.
Yeah.
You must immediately use your reaction to move up to Wilhelm and make one melee attack against him with advantage.
Oh no!
Rudy, save me! Why are you looking at me like that? Rudy. I called you the best soldier ever!
Should I duck?
Does it have my mind or is it just controlling my body?
Just for a moment, it grabs your body like a puppet and just directs you right at Wilhelm.
This is not like the time that demon took over my mind. I can't control it. 26.
Thank you.
You are great weapon mastering on this attack.
I always do. Always.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Big swing.
26 damage.
26?
26.
Thank you so much.
When Freed, now little Wrath is over here, and you feel in your mind, embrace the corruption, and the tentacles touch you, getting a 20 and a 16 to hit.
They both miss.
Okay, so you don't gain 2 levels of contamination.
But he also takes 21 psychic damage.
He's immune to psychic damage.
Then he doesn't take any psychic damage.
Okay, that's his turn.
Ow!
Rudy, it's your turn.
Does it still have my body or am
Yeah, he's literally just grabbing you. It costs you a reaction for him to do this to you, but you are not controlled. This is like the more fun version for players of getting dominated.
Just look at you and I'm sorry. I'm gonna go do the same to him, alright?
Was
Let's
this
turn
a
around.
tactic that I was unaware of? I'm bleeding a lot.
And I turn around and I march towards him with the most intimidating march I can muster and again, start swinging my great axe around.
Yeah. Get him, Rudy.
21 to hit.
Okay. You hit, but it is going to use its reaction
Uh-oh.
to cast Vanish to the Space Between Worlds. Disappearing. And thus avoiding the attack.
What is happening?
I feel like
Anything
no
else,
one's
Rudy?
listening to me. The walls have tongues
Listen,
and mouths.
we have to prioritize. We'll get to the walls.
I just look around confused.
Attack the wall!
Can I attack the walls?
Sure.
I can attack the walls!
It's gonna activate the castle, and then now we're gonna.
I point at that one. I point at the closest tongue.
Okay.
I smash the tongue.
Attack it.
I'm gonna attack it. 13.
That hits.
It's like hitting a wall.
You hit the wall. The stone, it kind of gives way and makes like a fleshy squelching noise as you attack the castle wall. And with that,
Oh no.
all the castle furniture animates into mimics.
This is what happens when Monty gets an exciting new miniature pack.
And do we hear it happening? Like, it's like...
Well, that mimic that
Yeah,
I
with,
did.
with a squish, basically, like parts of the castle walls just blort out. Yes, with a blort. That's the best noise I can describe. It's a blort and a squelch as the furniture grows pseudopods and eyes begin emerging all over them. There are fanged teeth that stick out in random areas as mouths form. Several of the mouths being able to whisper things like, "Forgive me, forgive me, forgive me, forgive me, forgive me, forgive me," and other pieces of the furniture say, "You won't sit on me anymore. You won't." And the bearskin rug says, "I'm sick of being stepped on."
Oh no!
What does everything always have to have tentacles?
Do you ever have that thought that like objects that are inanimate actually have feelings?
Yes.
Turns out they do.
It's like Toy Story, but way worse.
I just look at my axe and I'm sorry.
Your axe is probably like, it's fine, this is delicious.
So that took 30 damage.
Oh, so that actually destroyed that section of wall. It's the bricks and the emerging out of it, but it's mostly the furniture that's mimics. Oh, I gotta remember the potted plant mimic.
All right, then I turn to the one.
You never water me!
I got one more. I turn to the one behind me, I guess. And I take one hit at that. That's gonna be 21 to hit.
It is a hit.
That is 26 damage.
Is it a little one or a big one?
The chest.
Okay, I think that will destroy it. Yes, because you hit it before. So yeah, it's destroyed. Melts away into a puddle. Basically, it. Have you ever like seen that claymation animation of like a clay figure melting out and dispersing away? That's what happens when they die, and they boil off.
Sorry.
Ava, it's your turn.
Okay, well, so my concentration, it just increased my damage, but I
Did you do have to make a concentration?
check
It is a
and it's
DC
possible
20.
that it's still
Yeah,
up.
it's a DC 20.
DC 20, and this is a Constitution save.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not bad. Not good. I got a 21.
Okay, so you do have telekinesis still in effect.
Okay, then I would like to lift up this other chest mimic. with
Okay.
telekinesis, so that's a contested strength.
Yep.
Oh, that's not good. Wait,
No, you use your
against
spell
my
casting.
spell. Okay, I was like, wait, why would I do that? Okay. 15.
You win. I get a 12.
Yay! Okay. I just want to lift it up so it's restrained, and I
Okay.
just kind of want to like hold it right in the middle between these three
Okay.
Like, here you go, have at it.
Wrath, it is your turn.
I'm going to sort of head towards the open door and start shooting at the other alive creature, trying to keep them back from entering into the hallway.
You see a wardrobe, a bearskin rug, and a table growing mouths. The wardrobe opens up.
Oh, it opens up.
It's like the evil twin of the Beauty and the
Yeah,
Beast. Oh, what will I wear to dinner?
Yeah.
I start shooting, like panic shooting it, trying to keep everything back. I get a 27 to hit.
Yes.
Almost a crit, like a 30 something, and another 27. So I'm gonna shoot. The first beam does 7 damage.
This is against the wardrobe?
Yeah,
Okay.
7, and then 13,
Okay. So 20.
and then another 8.
Okay. It's the wardrobe is still in a coherent shape.
I keep shooting, and I'm gonna push it back each blast. So I'm
Okay.
gonna send it towards the back of the room. Just trying to keep
With
it at
that,
bay.
it is the turn for the mutated mimics.
Oops,
That's
sorry.
okay. Okay. The wardrobe, the bearskin rug, and the table chew with their big mouth. And you see in the mouth of the wardrobe the clothing inside it dissolving into an acidic glob that it spits at you, Raph. Make a dexterity saving throw.
My favorite. I get a 5.
You are hit with a glob of acid and you take 32 acid damage from the wardrobe spitting at you.
Fast fashion.
The bearskin rug also spits at you. Give me another dex save.
Oh, I'm gonna get hit a lot with acid. Does a 13.
No, I'm looking for 14. Another 32 acid damage.
Oh! Ah!
And then the table charges you.
Get back!
And the table just leaps up on its legs and with like a spinning bite, like almost like a serrated disc, bites at you. Only getting a 11 to hit though.
Okay, so I managed to fall out of the way because I'm covered with acid.
The other mimic, which I'm gonna say it's one of the benches, it's being held telekinetically and it just tries biting in every different direction. It grows a mouth on one side, bites at Wilhelm, grows a mouth on the other side, bites at Rudy. Okay. We go now to the top of the round with Wilhelm.
I swing at the bench in front of me with advantage.
'Kay.
And I say, take a seat!
That's good, that's good.
And I get 21.
It connects.
This is the one I'm holding, right?
Yeah.
So did you roll an advantage, right? Because it's restrained?
Yes, I
Okay,
did.
good.
I just
Yeah,
rolled
and now he's
poorly.
rolling his
Okay.
giant sneak attack dice that you set him up for.
Okay, great.
Oh my gosh, all the... this poor bench. So the walls were alive, what I was trying to say earlier.
I believe you the whole time.
Thank you, thank you.
The sound of music.
With the sound of children's laughter.
Oh, that's horrifying.
Yeah, some of the mimics start giggling. Like really
60
creepy.
damage.
It can take a seat.
Yeah, I cleave it in twain with my blade. It shatters and then it melts.
You hit it so hard the mimic flies out of the bench and the bench remains, and then the mimic like
I run forward next to Raph and yell, "The tables have turned now!" And I attack the table, getting 30 something.
oh how the turntables.
Wish I was immune to acid.
22.
Okay, it is not destroyed by that.
Oh, nice. Yeah, beans.
Thank you, King.
All right, whatever Everett Freed's body became returns.
No! I wasn't ready for this.
Wait.
I was just making my comeback remarks.
Kill the furniture.
God.
Okay, and it is going to cast. Let's see.
I'm Okay.
It is going to cast Banish to the Space Between Worlds on Rudy.
Hey, no.
Is it a save or?
It is a spell.
Well, like, is it a?
It's an 8th level
with a
spell.
oh God, I guess I'll counter spell it again.
You banish a creature you can see within range to the space between worlds. Upon this roiling plane of cosmic chaotic potential, the target wanders in incomprehensible vistas, searching for a way back via strange and absurd exits. The target remains there for the duration or until it escapes. The target can use this action to attempt to escape. When it does so, it makes an intelligence check against your spell save DC. If it succeeds, it escapes and the spell ends. On a failed check, the target takes 46 psychic damage. Time passes differently for the target in the space between worlds, and it perceives its time spent there as having lasted hundreds of years for every round, even if it was only gone for rounds or minutes in the mortal world. A creature that dies in the space between worlds does not return.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and counter your spell back.
You could say hi to Bruce.
My only option now is 4th level, so I will do that.
Okay. You need to get a DC 18.
They don't age 100 years.
No, they just imagine that time has passed.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if you spent the whole time working on like Rubik's Cubes? Could you come back and be really good at Rubik's
smart.
Cubes? Yeah.
Good luck.
I don't think you'd need hundreds of years, honestly.
Like
to
a
work on
weekend, like a
Rubik's
strong
Cube.
weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, but physics don't work properly in the space between worlds.
So
So
you
like a
just, like,
Rubik's.
try.
So it would be a Rubik's cube, but it would be a 4-dimensional cube.
What's that? There's
A
word-
hypercube.
But a hexahedron.
Okay, I'm doing it. That's a natural 20.
Oh!
This die. Angelic.
Praise the die.
You've saved 2 lives with that die.
This is my counterspell die now.
Only for now.
Okay,
Another.
so Rudy is not banished to the space between worlds.
You're just undoing the most horrible
I'm like,
magic creature
"Stop
we've ever
it!"
faced.
I go to
It
be like,
tur-
and I.
As its spell fizzles out, it turns to you, Ava, and attacks you twice with its contaminated touch.
Oh God.
Uh-oh.
Getting a 24 and a 15 to hit.
Okay, the 15 does not hit because I cast Mage Armor, so my AC is 16. Also, because I cast Counterspell again, that puts another 8 because it was level 4, so that puts another 8 points into my ward. So I actually, 18 damage will get ignored.
Okay.
Eaten by my ward.
So you don't take any damage, but you do gain a level of contamination.
Oh, okay.
So roll a d6 to see if you mutate.
Ooh. I mean, oh no. 4.
You do not mutate.
Aww.
1 level of contamination.
Okay.
And seeing that it didn't get to banish Rudy, and I probably should have done this first, that would have been the better play. I'm going to pluck your puppet strings again. And we can just imagine that I was playing this smart, that I was going to pluck your puppet strings first and then banish you to the space between worlds, because that would have been super insulting. And the much better play for an intelligent creature. So, wisdom saving throw.
You can do it. She couldn't do it.
I rolled a 2 and a 5 on the dice, so that's a 13.
So it plucks your puppet strings and makes you attack Wilhelm
Rudy,
again.
get it!
With advantage.
Attack it! Rudy, why are you looking at me again?
That's a 23.
Oh God, maybe I should
Rudy,
let her
stop!
know.
Ah!
Just a couple hundred years, we're just gonna cool her off a bit.
28 damage!
Oh God!
On counterspell, you're in a timeout.
I'm being executed!
Alrighty. With that, though, it is Rudy's turn.
Oh, I shake it off again.
I have like your axe is embedded in me. I'm just like, why?
Because this guy's taking over my body. I can't help it. I don't mean to. And I stroke your face a little bit, and then I turn around and aggressively go after him again. Let's
Was
see.
it the turntables?
Also, you probably got sideswiped too, because you just axed in the side, like ow!
Let's see. 20 to hit.
It does hit, but I cast Vanish to the space between
Can
worlds.
I counterspell it?
Oh.
Yes!
I'm like, no, don't run away again.
And I believe Vanish to the space between worlds is a 3rd level spell, so it automatically succeeds.
Yay!
Yeah.
Murder him!
Let me just double check. Yes, it is. And you would have used your reaction for pluck the puppet strings, but your reaction comes back at the start of your turn, so you do have your reaction.
Nice.
So,
Yeah.
so
What's the damage?
21.
21 damage, and then, so it's still there, so you can keep attacking it.
29 to hit.
Okay.
close.
28 damage.
Oh.
21 to hit. For 26 damage, and I'm gonna action surge. So,
So I just imagine that as it plucks your puppet strings, just a snarling rage comes over you as you barrel towards the creature, and as it tries to defend itself, you grasp the magic, break it, and just drive your axe into it brutally.
3 more times.
Roll all the hits.
17.
And then, that does hit?
13.
No.
20.
Okay, 4 hits. Sorry.
Two more.
2 more.
You hit 2 more times, yeah.
Yeah.
21 damage and 25 damage.
You hack it to pieces.
The
sorry,
executioner.
So I have like 2
Hacking
axes.
the mutant form of the creature to pieces, it dissolves into a goo.
It has to digitate it.
We now go to Ava.
Okay, well, now we gotta deal with these other guys, and then still my dad. So, I'm gonna just... I don't want to get too close. I feel like the best thing I can do at this point is I still have telekinesis up, so I'm just gonna try and restrain this one as well, so that it is easier to...
Opposed check.
Or maybe I should... Sorry, is it too late?
No, not at all.
I think I'm gonna hit it with a firebolt instead, because this one's already been hit.
Okay.
Yeah, you
So
can
I think I
kill
can probably take it
You
out.
might be able to kill it.
Okay, so that's,
This is the table? Yeah.
is that a 15 or is that cocked? I'll let you call.
That's cocked.
Okay.
I would have liked the 15,
I know,
but
that would have been nice. 16, that's fine. So, 29.
The firebolt crashes into the table.
Good job.
It was a perfectly
Good
good
kill.
table. You actually remember when your father got it.
That was a good table. Okay, 1, 2, 3. That is 13 fire damage.
I guess you always hated the table, though. As it is burned away to splinters.
You know what? I always hated that table. I just realized.
Wrath.
I'm gonna try to pelt the
pelt?
pelt.
Help.
28.
Oh, I missed my chance to make a joke. I should have said, "You're on your last legs."
You say that after it's like...
Ah, damn it! Go on.
No, we accept that. That's good. We can get that. The lowest was a 21.
Everything hits.
31 damage.
The pelt, I guess you need to come up with a one-liner for destroying the pelt.
It was a bear?
Yeah.
You're goo now. I don't have a good one. I'm really.
You really bared down on that one.
That's good.
Yeah, that's pretty unbearable.
You really bared it all.
There's acid on me.
Can't bear to see the destruction of all the furniture I grew up with.
Yeah, were you supposed to
It's a
inherit any of
grisly
this?
scene.
Oh, that's good. That's good. As I limp to the side to let Wilhelm in. Go, my king.
I'm a little bit sad about it because my husband.
As you limp to the side, the only one in the target path for the wardrobe is Wilhelm. So, Wilhelm, you get a brazier fired at you, an acidic brazier.
What else is new?
Give me a dexterity saving throw.
You can dodge it.
I get a 23.
It just... And it just lands on the wall behind you, which eats into the wall. That could have been your face, but it wasn't. It is your turn, Wilhelm.
Every joke I have is not appropriate.
I charge in and I yell, "This means wardrobe!" And I get a 30.
You hit.
And I'm alone with the wardrobe, meaning I get to use my swashbuckler sneak attack.
Oh my gosh. That poor wardrobe.
This part's gonna get cut quick.
61!
Well, I guess you really cleaned out this closet.
Monty's just patiently waiting for this time.
See, the problem with giving me so many dice to roll is I have to count. I have to count because I'm bad at math. So many different numbers.
That's great.
Okay.
61 damage. Wardrobe has been reduced to firewood.
Talk about a wardrobe malfunction.
Wilhelm
Hey, these are great.
Wilhelm
I
finishes
something like
chopping
that.
down the wardrobe and turns to the bookshelves and just starts stabbing them. And he's like flinging books off and like stomping on them. And he's just wrecking this room, stabbing all the furniture. Just making assumptions. Nothing is safe.
Well, stepping into the tattered office and study of the Duke, you utterly
Excuse me.
ransack the room, but fortunately no more of the furniture or furnishings are animate.
I throw the desk.
Papers spill everywhere.
I stab the papers.
I come up behind you and I'm just like, Wilhelm, that's enough.
We don't know that. By the way, you!
Me what?
Look at me!
I didn't do it on purpose!
Yeah, how do you not do... the enemy was over there, I was over here. Your axe just went into my flesh.
Mind tricks. You should know this.
I know
We went
this.
through it. He knows it.
Also, I think the walls are still licking their lips.
What?
Are they?
A few here and there, a few knowing eyes bubble up and watch. They blink and then descend back into the stonework.
Something tells me that Everett Freed isn't dead. Or was that Everett? I don't know what we just fought. Was that Everett Freed?
Somehow, well, let's test it. I'll use our telepathic bond to send a message that just says, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, give me a charisma saving throw.
There we go. He's not dead. And now we have data. That's an 18 on the die.
Okay, wouldn't that have been amazing if you had failed the check and just be like, everything's
Testing,
fine.
Everything's fine, everyone. In fact, we don't have to fight anymore. Lay down your weapons.
Let's all go to sleep now.
Yeah, you felt something try to grasp your mind.
Yeah, he's still alive. Somewhere. In some way.
So we fought the furniture and a
In
body
fact-
that exploded into tentacles. So great.
You feel, even in that moment, a mocking laughter resonate back in your mind.
Can I like put an ear to the door to my father's bedchamber and see do I hear anything inside?
You hear a heavy breathing, raspy.
Well, time to do what we came for.
After you, I suppose.
Just remember, no matter what happens, we're all on each other's side, all right?
Except for maybe you sometimes.
Not on purpose. That's what I'm trying to say. Is if something happens, it's not me. It's not any one of us. We're on each other's side. So let's be mindful of that.
Rule number 3, never underestimate your foe. Don't trust anything.
Early rule. Are they more important at the top of the list?
No.
Oh. What's the number 1 rule?
Always have a plan of attack.
Hasn't served us terribly well so far.
Well, we had a plan. It went off the rails as soon as the walls tried to eat us and Everett Freed exploded into tentacles. Again, This is why there's that one rule about trusting your instincts, because my father couldn't account for tentacle monsters, walls.
You can still hear the sounds of battle in the rest of the keep.
I'm sorry, I'm stalling. I just, I open the door.
You open the door into the mess that is Duke von Fritz's bedchamber. Books, refuse, garbage, old furniture, piles of clothes, and half-eaten meals are strewn about the room, with only a thin, clear pathway from the door to the bed, allowing someone to actually walk through this room.
There are several mimics still.
Oh yeah, they're just there for fun.
I'm going to remove them. I don't want to fight more furniture.
Is that him? Oh. Look at his mustache.
Unfortunately, that's like my only laying down mini. So Everett Freed doesn't have a stash like that, but
Duke.
Duke von Fritz.
Sorry, yeah, Duke von Fritz.
Wouldn't that be a twist?
That would have been a twist. But Duke von Fritz is swaddled underneath a fur blanket in his bed, sitting up. His hair has fallen out, and his flabby face is sallow and sunken. His eyes milk white, the pupils dilating and shifting back and forth. Fluid is leaking out of his nose and ears, and drool down his lips. Even to see him, it is very clear that he is in the end stages of eldritch contamination. So he is in the end stages of eldritch contamination. Someone becomes incapacitated, and so they can't take actions, and they can move, but just barely. It seems like you can only see his head poking up from the blankets, though.
So he's probably mutated. Does he turn into a monster in the last stage? Is that what happens?
That's the final stage of eldritch contamination, is a monstrous transformation.
Sorry, I would know. I mean, Ava would know this.
Oh.
I just wanted to make sure that I understood it.
Yep.
Then yes. I understand.
I can't believe you're mansplaining contamination to me. That's literally my...
She has a doctorate in contamination.
I'm so sorry.
Would you expect any less from a king?
I know, right?
Oh my god.
Give me the confidence.
The ultimate symbol of patriarchal authority.
I got no comeback.
May I?
You're right.
May I assist?
What, in the murder?
Not murder.
I just want to really quick, when we first come in, I just want to address him. I just want to see what he does or says. I'm just going to say, Father.
You enter the room. His breathing is loud and raspy, that kind of... And he coughs and spits, and his eyes widen, and he looks at you, and you can hear he's trying to speak, but as he tries to utter the words, you can see that his lips are rotting away, his teeth have fallen out, and his tongue is swollen and distended, and he tries to speak, and he's... And almost like a snarl and a frown takes over his face.
I'm sorry.
Can I... No, I don't think I have a slot left in that. Oh, I can upcast. Can I cast Purge Contamination on him? Or is that gonna break this scene?
He is... Currently, you're not in the room. You've just entered into the room.
Doorway, yeah.
Casting Purge Contamination is a ritual. It's not a ritual spell, but it does take an hour to do.
So he probably won't make it that long, is the impression I'm under.
You haven't really examined him yet. You've only physically seen him across the room.
Well, then I guess I should examine him.
I would be careful.
I'll go up with you just in case.
We'll help.
We will all go up together.
Yeah.
Stay a little bit behind.
I will stay behind.
Maybe we
Just, like,
can
one
declutter the pathway.
Yeah. I'm just ready to jump in if something happens to
If he can make it an hour, we could at least get him to a stage where he could speak with us. I know the plan doesn't require him surviving, but obviously if he turns into a monster, that's not good for us either.
No.
At this point, I don't know even if he gets purged, if he's gonna survive this. He looks, from what we've seen, too far.
Buster, how many levels of exhaustion kills you?
6.
So he would just die.
So, give me a medicine check.
Are we approaching?
Medicine.
Yeah, sounds
Yes,
like you are.
I approach and check his medicines. That would be... Ooh, an 8. I'm emotional.
Looking over the room, it's unclear if he's eaten or if he's slept properly, but it's clear that he probably hasn't left this bed in weeks. You know that your father has been wrestling with eldritch contamination for a while and has refused your treatment.
Yeah. But he can't take actions now.
No. Judging on... it's possible that he's survived, but you can't tell with your medicine check result if he has any levels of... Basically, if he has even one level of exhaustion, he'll die.
Yeah.
If you purge the contamination from him. If he doesn't, he'll survive. But as you check him over, you have to pull the blanket off of him, and he resists with whatever strength he has, which is none. But and as you pull away, you can see that one of his limbs is just a tentacled mass, and there is cysts and welts all covering his body. There's mouths and eyes that are growing out of his pot belly, and his lower limbs and legs are basically useless with the contamination that riddles his body. He's lucky that he hasn't fully transformed, but you know enough that you could purge this contamination from him, and if you choose to do so, but you don't know whether or not he has any exhaustion levels.
I'm gonna pull the blanket back up over everything and cover it all back up. And then I'm gonna turn to Wilhelm. You're standing further back, right? I think there is one treatment option remaining to us. And then I'm gonna pull out the collection of syringes that I took from Freed.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he would accept Freed's medicine.
We don't know what any of those syringes do. One of them nearly killed me.
I'm trying... Telekinetic. That's the point.
Ah!
Ava, would you like to speak with him?
Can you accomplish that?
I believe I can. I want to cast Create Thrall. He's incapacitated.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can speak telepathically.
Okay.
And I wish to be like a conduit for him to speak
Telepathically.
to the rest of them.
As you attempt to wrest control, Bruce jumps up on the bed and does the cat thing. Yeah.
Yes.
And Bruce says, "A powerful being has made this one its thrall already. You will have to wrest it from his control."
Everything is beneath me.
Make a spellcasting ability check with your charisma.
Most powerful mage in the world.
I got a 30.
Whoa!
Everything is beneath you.
Whatever a powerful presence. And I actually had assigned that a DC 30, so good for you. You feel this presence trying to control a powerful hold, but in that moment, the confidence of your patron and your own power, you wrench control from it and push it out. And in that moment, you feel the eyes and the presence in the castle itself recede. And the thrum of the power, and Bruce nods.
I do everything for the appeasement of my cat. If my cat approves, this is a good thing.
The cat purrs.
And I want to almost do like a very creepy version where I speak for him.
Okay.
Oh, like
So
your
almost like-
eyes like roll back and you're like,
And so he and,
Yeah.
and I can almost mimic his voice
Yeah.
so that Ava and you can ask your father.
He says to you, Ava, save me!
You never accepted my help before. Would you truly accept it now, if I could purge your contamination?
Do whatever you have to do!
What will you do if I save you?
Just do it! Do what a daughter's supposed to do for her father!
I came here to kill you.
There's,
And that was before I knew that you were a monster.
there's a look of like expression and frustration on his face, and be like, and he says, you wouldn't do that! I'm your father! And remember, this is Wrath's body that is convulsing in this way.
Shaking and
Yeah.
stuff.
What do you want? What do you want from him? Do you want him human when you finish it?
I don't care. He leaves behind him a legacy of pain and suffering. No care for his own children, no care for his people. He never cared for anything but himself.
I'm gonna, I wanna flip open the little wallet of syringes. What color was the one that stabbed Wilhelm?
Examining several of these syringes.
Are they on?
Give me an Arcana check.
Okay. I mean, I could kill him another way, but it'd be pretty cool to use a creepy syringe. That's a 27.
Okay. Most of these syringes are a distilling of delirium dust in fluid that
so
if
he
you
just turned into a monster.
yes, but two of them are actually aqua expurgo, the formula that has slowly moved around that protects someone from contamination, but it doesn't remove the contamination from
It
the
just
body. It
prevents
protects
them from
them.
going further.
But as you go through, in a pocket of Freed's wallet are several vials of deadly nightshade poison.
I'm gonna take one of those out and approach the bed. And then I'm gonna look into, even though he's speaking out of wrath, I'm gonna look at his face and I'm going to say, I will treat you exactly the way that a father like you deserves to be treated by a daughter. And then I'm gonna stab it into his chest and press the plunger.
A final heaving breath flows out of Duke von Fritz's mouth and nostrils. He looks at you as his eyes bulge. They shudder and shake, and then they stop moving, and he stops breathing.
Well,
That must have been hard.
Are you okay?
I don't know. I try not to think about it too much.
You did what had to be done.
This was what we came here to do, and it would have been more difficult if we had drawn it out any further.
I agree. Now, we'll make sure that the rest of your family is safe. And this castle still belongs to the von Fritz family. You've proven yourself a worthy ally. We still have to deal with Everett Freed, who seems to be the mastermind behind all of this. Are you okay to finish what we've started here?
If I've perhaps earned the right to make a request,
Yes.
I would very much like to find Heidi before we move forward. I don't know what could have happened to her thus far, but if there's a chance that we could save her, I want to make sure that we try.
Then let's find your sister.
I'm gonna tuck that horrifying collection of vials away for
Okay.
future use.
As you leave the room, the sound of battle has ended. Elias Drexel steps up the steps, and he kneels before Wilhelm and says, "Your Majesty, it's done. We lost a few good men, but those horrors are destroyed. We have found only one other uncorrupted person here.
And?
It is the steward. Cricket Doan. She was hiding in the cellar.
You have her in custody.
Yes,
And I'm familiar with this person.
yes.
We should speak to her immediately. No other von Fritzes were found?
We went through the apartments. We didn't find anybody in the other apartments.
Well, we'll talk to the steward. Elias, excellent work. There's a body here on this floor that will need to be burned.
Von Fritz?
It does seem like Everett Freed is still at large. We are going to rest for the night, occupy the castle, clean out the bodies, and in the morning, we're heading into the mines.
Understood. Well fought, Your Majesty.
You as well, Elias. Thank you.
I will see to the rest of the soldiers. Would you like me to bring the prisoner?
Yes.
Okay. As you... A short while later, several of the hooded lanterns come with Cricket Doan, the steward. She is a woman in perhaps her mid-50s, and she was the master of the household, organizing everything for the House von Fritz. She seems dazed, and as you emerge Wrath, immediately you can see the signs of someone who is enthralled by an eldritch force. And as the hooded lanterns push her into the study, they say, she only cackles whenever we ask her anything.
So it's not a spell, right? The enthrallment? I'm just wondering if casting Dispel Magic would accomplish it.
Certainly could. Certainly could.
Then I guess I'll use a 6th level spell slot to
All
cast
right.
Dispel Magic on her.
The enchantment breaks. Her eyes widen. She says, Ava. The rest of the house. Your sister, you have to help them.
Where are they? Heidi's with them in the mines?
She nods. And that's where we'll end for the night.
We're on the right track. We're on the right track.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So you stabbed your dad.
You know what's so weird is this is like the second time I've killed a character's father in the last few months of D&D. I love my dad. My dad is awesome.
Yeah, but D&D dads are always, turning into monsters.
Yeah.
Well,
Things.
a big thank you to our amazing cast, Jill, Joe, Kelly, and the wonderful Ginny D for joining us this evening.
And a huge thank you to Kyle for all of the work that he does behind the scenes. Thanks, Kyle. And big thank you to Monty Martin for running this incredible chapter.
So cool, so horrifying.
Yeah.
Our videos and live streams are made possible because we have an amazing Patreon community helping to support our work. If you enjoy what we create, if you like what we've been able to accomplish thanks to our Patreons, is the studio space and bringing amazing guests like Ginny into our studio to play D&D with us for a complete plot arc. If that is something that you think is cool and you want to see that happen more, please consider becoming a patron of our show. It makes this kind of stuff remotely viable for us. You can find all the links right down below.
We also have a phenomenal Discord community exclusive for our Patreon. So if you are joining us on Patreon, make sure to hop on the Discord where you can chat with all of us about all things D&D, Drakkenheim, video games, really anything.
In our game tonight, we get to use a variety of incredible assets produced by talented artists. Some of them, hopefully, will be also ones that are created by Dungeon Dudes too.
Well, for this evening though, we had the amazing WizKids Mimic Colony, and they're not sponsoring this, but I saw this in our game shop, and I was like, I'm using these. I have to use them. Yeah.
We get so spoiled by this wonderful Dwarven Forge, the miniatures by WizKids, Hero Forge, music by Tabletop Audio, and player character artwork by Elizabeth Perot.
Of course, don't forget to look at the links for our Teespring store down below. You can check out all your favorite Dungeon Dudes shirts, including Yes, 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 and the Dusk Wardens. We did our thing at dusk today, which was
We
cool.
were the Wardens of Dusk.
We were the Wardens of Dusk. So check it out at bit.ly/Dungeon Dudes merch.
You can also find all of our other video content over on YouTube, and I believe that's where they can find Ginny's amazing content as well, yeah?
Find me also on YouTube.
And you can join us on Tuesday evenings when we broadcast the campaign on Twitch. You can check us out from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/dungeon_dudes. You can also watch the video episodes of the show on YouTube or check us out as an audio-only podcast as well.
Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time in Drakkenheim.